Hello everyone, welcome to the Crystaly Recapped channel. When his world is nearing its end, Deadpool asks Wolverine for help, but discovers that he has been dead for a long time. It all begins in a winter forest, where Wade Wilson, also known as Deadpool, digs up Wolverine's grave from the movie Logan, convinced that the superhero is not really dead. After all, he has the ability to regenerate. But in the grave, there is only an adamantium skeleton, which enrages the hero because he dreamed of forming a duo with Wolverine to save his world. While he is grieving the collapse of his dreams, agents of the Time Variance Authority, TVA, an organization that monitors the integrity of the sacred timeline, attack him. Deadpool has to fight back using Wolverine's skeleton and claws, even parodying his classic fighting stance. The action shifts to a few months earlier. After the events of Deadpool 2, Wade tries to join the Avengers, but Happy Hogan explains that they are not just fancy characters but protectors of their world, and refuses him, believing that saving the world is not for everyone. He suggests that Wade should settle down and find his place in life. After a few jibes, they part ways, and a disappointed Deadpool quits the superhero business and gets a job selling used cars. But this also proves difficult for him, as he has no experience dealing with families and their children. Deadpool's friend Peter expresses hope that one day he will put on the costume again and save the world. But Wade reminds him that he has given it up. In the evenings, he sometimes meets with friends from previous installments, and one day they surprise him with a birthday party attended by taxi driver Deepinder, neighbor Blind Al, and his ex-girlfriend Vanessa, who still maintains friendly relations with him. But in the midst of the celebration, TVA soldiers appear at Wade's apartment and, despite resistance, take him to their headquarters, where he is greeted by an agent named Paradox. Paradox explains that Deadpool is the only one who can save the sacred timeline, where all the heroes of the Marvel Cinematic Universe live. He is given a new superhero suit and told that his world will soon be destroyed because its key subject, an entity so significant that its death plunges everything into oblivion, is Wolverine. Usually such a timeline disappears instantly. Paradox wants to use a machine called the Time Shredder to speed up this process. Essentially, Wade's world faces a quick and, as he says, painless end, and his friends won't even have time to be scared. After listening to Paradox, Deadpool decides to defy them and find Wolverine. He breaks Paradox's nose, escapes from the TVA agents, steals a device for traveling through the multiverse, and goes to Logan's grave. The action returns to the first scene, where Deadpool fights the TVA agents, killing all the soldiers and continuing his search for Wolverine in other worlds. He encounters various versions of Wolverine, one the size of a dog, another an uncontrollable bully, a third armed with a shotgun, an old one who immediately opens fire. He even meets Henry Cavill, who also refuses to help. Finally, Deadpool finds a Wolverine who can't even extend his claws. Wade asks him to come with him, but Logan resists, and after another bottle of whiskey just passes out. Our red and black hero then takes him to the TVA headquarters, hoping that moving Logan to his world will stabilize the universe, but Paradox explains that it doesn't work that way. Moreover, Wade has managed to bring the worst Wolverine of all possible variations, so Paradox still intends to destroy Wade's world. At this point, Logan regains consciousness while Deadpool demands to contact the higher-ups to reconsider the decision to destroy his world. He realizes that no one at the top knows about Paradox's plan. Deadpool threatens to reveal the agent's intent, and he just throws them out into a sort of junkyard for everything that didn't fit into the timeline. Upon regaining consciousness, Deadpool sees an enraged Wolverine who has no intention of saving his opponent's world. Wade reminds him that the hero was responsible for the destruction of his own reality, and they start fighting. The superheroes battle in front of the logo of the defunct studio Century Fox, which was acquired by Disney in 2020. Both display incredible agility and perform impossible stunts. Naturally, neither can win because they both regenerate endlessly. Tired of the fight, Deadpool proposes a deal to Wolverine. They will not only save Wade's world, but also fix Logan's mistakes in his universe. If they manage to return to the TVA, they will demand changes in both realities. This cools Wolverine's temper a bit. Their conversation is interrupted by a hooded man who urges them to stop fighting each other because other enemies are approaching. He points to a convoy of vehicles that looks like it's from the Mad Max movies, but with mutants inside. When he takes off the hood, everyone is excited. Could it be him? Chris Evans, aka Captain America. He promises to deal with the newcomers, flies up and tries to incinerate the mutants. But it turns out he is not Captain America, but Johnny Storm from the Fantastic Four, who was once a part of Marvel. However, he is effectively disarmed by Pyro, and Sabretooth steps forward, intending to kill Wolverine. But he is killed with a single blow from Deadpool. Triumphant and trying to intimidate the mutants, Deadpool and his companions are caught by iron nets attached to cars and taken to a base made from the enormous corpse of Giant Man, where they are met by Cassandra Nova, Professor X's sister, who was sent into the void right after birth. She is so omnipotent that she can control reality as she wishes, but most importantly, she can send the heroes back home. Deadpool starts lying, saying that Human Torch said a lot of nasty things about Cassandra on the way to the base. He tries to refute Deadpool's words, as he doesn't even understand half of what Wade said. The villainess instantly strips the skin off the Torch, turning him into a pile of flesh and bones. She has no intention of sparing the captive heroes. Deadpool and Wolverine try to break free, but Cassandra is unaffected even by Logan's claws, which he uses in a reckless attack on her, for which he immediately pays. Wade tries to negotiate with her, but she penetrates his mind, making him relive his conversation with Vanessa, where she blames him for not wanting to realize his potential, which ultimately led to their breakup. Driven mad, Wade draws a knife, but Wolverine gets there first and, jumping from the ground, plunges his claws into Cassandra's back. However, this only amuses her. Moreover, Alioth is already approaching the base. Chaos erupts at the base and Deadpool and Wolverine manage to escape on a small rocket. Reflecting on the situation, the heroes decide to find other superheroes who ended up in the void, but they find an abandoned diner. They refresh themselves with some found alcohol, and Deadpool talks about Logan's fate in his world. But they are interrupted by the appearance of a new version of Wade, with an unscarred face, long hair, and a dog named Dogpool, who immediately charms the main hero. He calls himself Millpool because he is so sweet that he simply dazzles everyone with his charisma. He puts the pair in a used Honda and sends them off to find other superheroes. On the way, Wade accidentally admits that he is not sure about the possibility of fixing Logan's timeline. An enraged Wolverine starts fighting Deadpool right in the car. The heroes flood the car with liters of blood, fighting each other until they both exhaust themselves. The fight is very spectacular and impressive. Afterward, a mysterious figure hijacks the car with the exhausted heroes and takes them somewhere. Deadpool wakes up in some room, where they are later joined by Wesley Snipes, who has returned to the role of Blade, and the mutant Gambit in his canonical costume. Gambit tries to convince the heroes to help defeat Cassandra, although Wolverine sees no point in this and prefers to just get drunk. Meanwhile, the heroes confess that X-23, the same mutant girl Logan saved at the cost of his life in the eponymous movie, lives here, and she was the one who found and brought them here. Deadpool explains that Cassandra can send them back, but they list the heroes she has destroyed. She even destroyed Magneto's helmet, which could have helped in the fight against her. At night, they recall their worlds and the fact that they were superheroes. X-23 finds Wolverine and tells him about a stunt double hero who saved her. He confesses that in his world he refused to be part of the X-Men, which led to the entire team being killed one day. At dawn, the superhero team heads to Cassandra's base to find a way home. Blade opens the gates using Punisher's weapons, and they infiltrate. The villainous' henchmen, including mutants Azazel and Juggernaut, come out to meet them. Wolverine emerges from the trunk, having decided to support the superheroes after all. Their plan is that Juggernaut's helmet, like Magneto's helmet, can neutralize Cassandra's powers. A battle ensues where everyone shows off their skills. While the others fight, Wolverine and Deadpool sneak into Cassandra's room and demand to be sent home. The villainess easily neutralizes them both, unaware that Electro is retrieving Juggernaut's helmet. Meanwhile, Cassandra penetrates Logan's mind and sees that after the death of the X-Men, Wolverine went on a rampage, killing both the guilty and the innocent. While Cassandra is in Logan's mind, the other heroes manage to put Juggernaut's helmet on her, blocking her mental abilities. It turns out Wolverine had deliberately surrendered to the villainess to distract her. The heroes face a difficult choice. Cassandra cannot send them home while wearing the helmet, but if they take it off, she will kill everyone immediately. At this moment, her henchman Pyro shoots Cassandra. Wolverine knocks out the shooter and explains to the wounded Cassandra that her brother would have loved her just as he loved everyone else. Cassandra softens and, using a ring that either belonged to Doctor Strange or another magician, opens a portal to Wade's world for the heroes. They manage to jump through just before Alioth consumes everyone else. Wolverine and Deadpool fall right onto a car being sold by Peter. Meanwhile, Cassandra revives the boy who shot her, and he confesses that he works for Paradox. She's surprised that the TVA did not keep their promises, as they had agreed not to touch her as long as she helped maintain order in the void. And at the moment Deadpool and Wolverine arrive at Paradox, Cassandra enters through an open portal. From his thoughts, she learns about his plans and decides to use the Time Ripper to destroy all worlds except the void. To neutralize the heroes, she opens a portal from which hundreds of different versions of Deadpool emerge. Millpool with Dogpool, Lady Deadpool, Headpool, Samurai Deadpool, and many others. But the most important thing is that they are very aggressive. Millpool is the first to die because our hero decides to hide behind his double's body and run across the street, only to find out that Millpool can't regenerate. Wolverine does the same, hiding behind Dogpool, but no one shoots at him because the dog is on screen. The heroes prepare for their final battle, knowing they can't kill 100 Deadpools. They step into the middle of the street, and Logan puts on his canonical helmet. A bloody fight begins, and just when it seems the pair have won, all the Deadpools start regenerating and get back up. The situation is saved by Wade's friend, Peter. It turns out that all Deadpools in all universes love and respect their friend very much. His appearance stops the massacre, after which Deadpool and Wolverine rush to the TVA's facility, where they try to destroy the Time Ripper. To do this, they need to merge two streams of antimatter in a bunker under the device. However, whoever does this will be annihilated, as matter and antimatter will meet and obliterate everything in between. Logan volunteers to sacrifice himself, but Wade tricks him and locks himself in the bunker. However, he lacks the strength to merge the streams. Cassandra is about to complete the destruction of the entire multiverse when Wolverine breaks down the door and comes to Deadpool's aid. Together, to the tune of Madonna, they destroy the Ripper, and Cassandra disintegrates into atoms. The leadership of Paradox arrives at the destroyed facility, but he blames everything on Cassandra and calls for honoring the fallen heroes. At that moment, Deadpool and Wolverine emerge from the bunker alive and well. They survived because they combined their powers. Paradox is arrested, and although the heroes broke all the rules, they saved not only their world. The timeline is restored, and Logan has to stay in his world. After all, it was his mistakes that made him a hero. Dogpool and the surviving X-23 also end up there. In the end, Deadpool invites Logan to eat shawarma, and later, everyone gathers at his home. It seems even his relationship with Vanessa is starting to mend. In the post-credits scene, we see Wade trying to justify that he didn't kill Johnny Storm, and that he actually said those things. It turns out that the Human Torch really did curse out Cassandra for a full minute. So Wade wasn't lying to the villainess at all. This is the end of the movie. That's all for today. Subscribe and like if you want more videos like this.